Hello and welcome to this Tripcart tutorial. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to translate your Tripcart website into your own language using the built-in translation feature. Whether you want Spanish, French, German, or any other language, Tripcart gives you the flexibility to localize all system-generated text with just a few simple steps. For example, here on the home page, you can see that I've already translated parts of the navigation menu and the header section into Spanish. If we scroll further down, the features section and the tour packages have also been translated. And if you look at the footer, you'll notice that it's fully translated as well. Now, there are still some areas that remain in the default language. For instance, sections like destinations have not been translated automatically. These need to be completed manually. That's because while most of the system content adapts to your chosen language, there are some parts where you'll have to step in and translate or write in your preferred language yourself. Let's take a closer look at the navigation menu. From here, I'll click into the Tours section. In this section, you can see that the sorting and filtering options, along with other elements, have already been translated into Spanish. But if we open one of the tours, you'll notice that the content inside is still in English. This is because when you add or create tours, you can directly write them in your own language. However, certain sections, like tour information and tour highlights, follow a slightly different process. Don't worry, I'll walk you through how to handle those in this tutorial. So let's head back to the homepage. In this step-by-step guide, I'll show you exactly how to use the translation feature, and also how to work with areas like tours, tour info, tour highlights, and even the contact form. By the end, you'll have your entire Tripcart website translated into your preferred language. So, let's get started. First step is to log into your Tripcart dashboard. On the left-hand sidebar, look for the option called Website Settings. Under the Website Settings drop-down, you will find a section called Translation. Clicking on this will take you to the translation page. Here, you can manage all your language settings. You'll be able to select the site language, review texts that have not yet been translated, and also manage texts that are already translated. Now let's go through the translation process. At the very top of the translation page, you'll see a drop-down menu labeled Site Language. Click on this drop-down, and you'll see a list of languages available for translation. For this example, let's select Spanish as the target language. Once we select Spanish, Tripcart will prepare the list of texts that need to be translated into that language. Now let's take a closer look at the Untranslated tab. This tab contains a list of text strings that appear across your website but have not yet been translated into your selected language. Each row shows two things. On the left side, you'll see the original text label. For example, labels like destinations, activities, or budget. On the right side, you'll see an input field, where you can type in the translation for that word or phrase. Let's try adding a few translations together. For the word destinations, I'll type in destinos in Spanish. For activities, I'll type actividades. And for budget, I'll type presupuesto. As soon as I type in the translation, Tripcart automatically saves my input. You don't need to press any extra button. The system keeps your progress safe as you go. Once a text has been translated, just refresh the page. It will automatically move out of the Untranslated tab and into the Translated tab. This makes it really easy to keep track of what has already been completed and what still needs to be done. Now let's move over to the Translated tab. Here, you'll see all the text that you have already translated. If you ever want to edit or update a translation, you can simply click inside the input field again and make your changes. For example, if I want to change this Spanish word back to another wording, I can easily update it right here, and Tripcart will save it immediately. If your website contains a lot of text, scrolling through everything might take time. That's where the search bar at the top right becomes very helpful. Let's say I want to find the word tour. I'll type tour into the search bar, and Tripcart will instantly filter out the results and show me the exact text string. Now I can add the translation for tour. In Spanish, I'll type viaje. And if I switch to French later, I could type voyage. This search option saves you time and helps you locate specific words or phrases without having to manually scroll through the entire list. One of the best parts of Tripcart's translation feature is that you don't have to worry about losing your work. Every translation you type is automatically saved in real time. So even if you leave the page or close your dashboard, your translations will still be there when you come back. You can also preview your website to check if anything is left untranslated or hasn't been updated yet. Most of the text will be translated, but you'll notice that the navigation menu and certain sections like tour information and tour highlights won't change automatically. So next, let's move into the tours section and see the process for handling those parts step by step. Now that we've looked at how the translation feature works, let's move on to translating the actual tours themselves. First, head back to the dashboard. From the sidebar, go to the Tours section and select All Tours from the drop-down. Here, you'll see a list of all the tours you've already created. If you want to add a brand new tour in your preferred language, you can click the Add New Tour button. This allows you to create the tour from scratch, writing everything like the title, description, and itinerary directly in your target language. For now, let's edit an existing tour so I can show you the process. I'll click on either the Edit button or the tour name to open it. Inside, you'll notice different sections you can work with. In the General tab, you can write your title, excerpt, and description in your own language and update it. In the Itinerary section, you can describe each day's plan, again in whichever language you're targeting. And in the Include section, you can list out what's covered and not covered in the package, such as meals, accommodations, or activities, also in your own words. Also, don't forget to update after editing the contents. So basically, all of the content that you personally create for a tour can be written directly in your chosen language. If you'd like a deeper walkthrough on how to set up an entire tour from scratch, I recommend checking out our other tutorial called How to Create a Tour Using Tripcart. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. Now let's focus on two important parts, tour info and tour highlights. Since these don't automatically translate when you change your site language, to start with tour info, head back to the dashboard, and under the Tours section, you'll find the option called Tour Info. This is where you can translate details like duration into duración, age range into rango de edad, and destination into destino. After you've entered the translations, save your changes. Next, let's move to Tour Highlights. Again, head to the dashboard, and this time go to Tour Settings. Under the dropdown, select Miscellaneous. Inside the Miscellaneous settings, you'll find the Tour Highlights field. Here you can add or update the key highlights of your tour. For example, I've already copied some highlights in Spanish, so I'll paste them here and save the changes. With that done, we've now covered how to translate both your own tour content and the system-generated sections like tour info and highlights. But there's still one more important area that needs attention: the navigation menu. By default, your menu items don't automatically change into your target language. So in the next part of this tutorial, I'll show you how to add and customize your navigation menu in your own language, step by step. As mentioned earlier, to translate the navigation menu, head back to the dashboard and go to Website Settings. In the dropdown, you'll see an option called Menu. I've already created a menu named Primary Menu, but you can always create your own from Add Menu here. And by following our previous video, Navigation Menu Setup using Tripcart. I'll leave the link in the description below, so don't forget to check that out. For now, let's edit the primary menu and also write it in Spanish. These are your top-level menu items, so I'll manually translate them into Spanish. For example, home becomes inicio, save it. Destination becomes destino, save. Tours stays as tours. Activities becomes Actividades, save. And traveler login becomes Acceso para viajeros, save. Now update it. Similarly, you can also create a separate menu for the footer using the same process. Now let's add this menu to the homepage. Head back to the dashboard, open Website Settings, and go to the Website Builder. From here, you can select or edit the homepage content. Click on the navigation bar or header section. Scroll down and search for Choose Navigation Menu. In the drop-down, you'll see the primary menu we just created. Select it and save. The primary menu has now been added to the header. You can also add the same menu in the footer. Go back one step, click on the mid-footer area, and on the sidebar, you'll see different sections where you can add descriptions. And you'll also see options for Column 2 and Column 3 menus. I am going to add the same menu here for the footer as well, for example only. Keep in mind that the title primary menu shows up only in the footer, not in the header, except where. So when you're creating a footer menu, make sure to add a proper title. From the website builder, you can also translate other homepage content. For example, let's change the text, choose your destination, to Elige tu destino, and then add a description in Spanish. In the same way, you can update any other section of your homepage with your own language. Finally, save your changes, and let's preview the homepage. Here, you'll see that both the header navigation menu the content we had updated and the footer menu are successfully translated into Spanish. We've now reached the final part of this tutorial series, and in this last step, we'll translate and customize the inquiry form. This part is very important because it's the main way your visitors can reach out to you directly. Whether they want to ask a question, request more information, or inquire about a booking, having the form in their own language makes the process smoother, builds trust, and increases the chances of turning an inquiry into a confirmed booking. To begin, head back to the dashboard and go to the Apps section. In the drop-down, select Form Builder. Here, you'll see a default inquiry form already created. You can either build a new one by clicking Add New Form or simply edit the existing default. For this example, I'll edit the default inquiry form. The form is currently in English, so let's translate it into Spanish. I'll click on Edit. For the name field, I'll keep the field type as text. In the label, I'll type nombre, and in the placeholder, I'll write Ingresa tu nombre. I'll leave the description empty, but you can add something if you want to give visitors extra guidance. Since this field is mandatory, I'll keep required set to yes and save it. I'll repeat the same process for the other fields. For email, I'll keep the type as email, set the label to correo electrónico, and the placeholder to Ingresa tu correo electrónico. Save it. For subject, I'll use text as the type. Write asunto as the label and Ingresa el asunto as the placeholder. Keep it yes and save it. For message, I'll use text area as the type. Write mensaje as the label and ascribe to mensaje as the placeholder. Keep it yes and save it. All fields will remain required, and I'll save after each one. Once the fields are translated, there's one more important step. The settings. In the general settings, you can change the Submit button text. Instead of Submit, I'll type Botón enviar in Spanish, so the entire form matches the chosen language. Next, under Email Notification, you can decide where you want the customer inquiries to be sent. And you want the reply? Here you can also write automatic replies in your own language, so if someone inquires in Spanish, they'll receive a confirmation email in Spanish as well. This makes your communication look professional and consistent. Finally, under confirmation, you can create a message that appears right on the website after the form is submitted. I'll write a short message in Spanish to let the customer know their inquiry has been received. Once all these settings are in place, I'll save the form. Now let's preview it. I'll open one of the tours. Scroll down to the Ask a Question section, and here you can see the inquiry form we just customized. All the fields are now in Spanish: nombre, correo electrónico, asunto, and mensaje. The Submit button also shows Botón enviar, and once a visitor fills out this form, both the confirmation message and the email notifications will display in their own language. This makes the inquiry form a seamless part of the translated website experience. And with that, we've completed the final part of this tutorial series. So there you have it. We've now gone through the full process of translating your Tripcart website. We started by translating the system-generated text, then moved through tours, tour info, and highlights, customized the navigation menu and homepage, and finally translated the inquiry form. By following these steps, you now have a fully localized website that feels welcoming, trustworthy, and professional for your audience, no matter what language they speak. Now it's your turn. Log into your dashboard, follow along with these steps, and translate your own website today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the other tutorials I've linked in the description. Thanks for watching this complete 4-part series, and I'll see you in the next video.